Okay guys, so we just stopped in this tiny corner store just for a cold drink. Our intention was non-alcoholic, but we saw this sign on the wall of these very interesting type of alcohols that we didn't know anything about. And the lovely lady working here says, I give you some for free. So it's still morning, but we'll have a quick drink of alcohol.
Okay.
Let's go.
Coxinho.
Cravinho.
Cravinho. Everything?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Salud.
Cravinho. Let's go. Ooh.
Does it taste like?
It's really delicious.
It's very interesting flavor.
Yeah.
Oh, it's quite good. It's sweet, but it has a flavor of like caramel, like
Caramel.
But with a twist.
a bit of a twist at the end, almost like a coffee or like a bitter twist.
Yeah.
But sweet. Very interesting. Not coffee, but sort of like that. Quite good. All right, I'm
Kind of
ready
like sour coffee.
I'm ready to be in Bahia. Let's go dance in the street, okay?
Yeah.
But first, one for Ivana. This is Gabriela.
Different. Wow. Very sweet. A little bit sour. A little bit bitter. Very earthy. It's a bomb.
All right, the adventure continues. Obrigado, thank you, obrigado. All right, there you have it, guys. Our first day properly exploring Salvador. Starting off with some Jesus juice. For what it's worth, I would say Cravinho slightly better than Gabriela.
Yes.
For what it's worth.
Oh.
But first things first, big shout out to our new friend Vanessa and her son Gabriel. Taking us around, showing us all the local spots. Should be a very exciting vlog, and we've already been up to quite a little bit. We've been walking around the part of the city known as Pelourinho, and we've noticed it's sort of like Ouro Preto, except bigger and more colorful. We also saw a church which was very much like Ouro Preto, but more like Ouro Preto on steroids.
Oh yeah.
One of the most grand and most amazing and most humbling churches we've been to. Covered in gold, and lots of tourists and locals alike enjoying it. And in true Bahia fashion, as we've been walking around the beautiful buildings and beautiful architecture, there's constantly been music and dancing and capoeira. I think we are stumbling into a little bit of a show right now. So this is not an uncommon experience. We didn't come here for the show, but it seems like there are happy people with smiling faces doing dance and live music all around Salvador. So come along with us and join us today as we explore and see what we can find, because it should be a great day. Let's go. Come on, Ivana, come on! Obrigado.
Marca no Instagram lá, Professor Pezão da Bahia. Professor Pezão.
Obrigado.
Da Bahia.
Obrigado.
Professor Pezão da Bahia.
Wow, guys, what a scene. What a scene. Obrigado. Muito bom.
Até a próxima aí.
Yo, Ivana, you did so good, Ivana. You did so good. Yo, you were doing kicks, left kick, right kick. I was like, wow. I tell you what, as far as the tourist experience goes, those guys are providing a free service in the streets.
Yes.
And then they ask for donation. I'm more than okay with this.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
That was really, really fun.
That was
Now,
really fun.
to be clear, at least 5 or 6 times today, there's guys approaching you who want to give you a bracelet.
Yes.
Again, it's a free service and they ask for donation. I've been finding those guys to be a little bit cumbersome because we try to respectfully say no thanks. We don't want another bracelet because we've already got one, and they sort of press on. With that being said, the guys back there were absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And I think it's a real part of Bahia culture.
I like it.
You know, it's really, really nice.
Yeah.
We've also noticed these ladies walking around in traditional clothes, which are called baianas. And again, very, very friendly, not pushy. And it is part of the real Brazilian and Bahian culture.
Salvador.
Salvador. So one thing Vanessa has told us, and I think it's a brilliant point that I really want to make, is the thing about Bahia culture is what the tourists do is what the locals do. They're really not putting on a show. It's not an insincere thing.
Yeah.
Really what the locals are doing, the authentic culture, is what the tourists come for.
Yes.
In this sense, and for this reason, I'm really excited to be in Salvador, with a local especially.
Loving it so far.
Loving it so far. So, oh my gosh, I'm sweating like a pig. We've done a lot. It's like 11 in the morning, we've done a lot. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, the journey continues. Muito bom.
I already got one here, so let's make 3 more wishes.
Right, so we just checked out Filhos de Gandhi, which is actually a carnival parade group that is based on the teachings of Gandhi. And if you guys remember our experience at Lavagem do Bonfim, this is the same blue and white dressed group that we saw there. So if you guys thought Lavagem was crowded and if it was an epic party, I can't even imagine what Carnival will be like. We saw some images that showed Carnival in previous years. Part of me wants to be in that crowd and part of me thinks it's just too much. But with all that being said, I'd like to introduce you to the main square here in Pelourinho. There is culture and there is architecture and there is smiling faces all around, despite the often sad history. So Pelourinho comes from an English word pillory, which is a wooden pole that slaves would get tied to for public humiliation. So the history is very sad here in Salvador because this is a historic city where many, many slaves were brought. In modern times or in current times, you've got incredible culture all around and tourists come here from far and wide to access this culture because it's so vivid and it's so bright colors and it's so acoustic, it's music, it's dance, it's costumes. And the reason for this is because there were natives here, there were Europeans who were bringing the African slaves, and so you've got 3 cultures sort of combining. And actually our friend Vanessa is part Portuguese, part black, and part native. So we're joking with her that she is like all of Bahia in one person, or even all of Brazil in one person. But despite the really sad history, it's a very optimistic message when you come here because this is the exact site where the first pillory was. So you can imagine hundreds and hundreds of years ago, slaves being tied in this space, and now the human spirit sort of endeavors on and overcomes, and everyone getting along and everyone enjoying. And this being a very popular destination for tourists such as myself to come enjoy because there's so many things to do and Brazil's culture is just so rich despite its very sad history. So there you have it, guys. It's just the early part of the day and already a very good travel experience. Culture, history, friendship, and more. Let's keep going. Pelourinho is so visual. The culture is so vivid and the history is so accessible that it really makes for a great destination for tourism. And as it turns out, capoeira, samba, and carnival all originate from Salvador. So you could argue that this is like the cultural heart of Brazil, and Salvador was actually the capital of Brazil for something like 300 years. So originally Salvador was built on this sort of natural cliff that acted like a fort or a natural resistance to enemies, and evidently there's still a elevator, I think, that's running today, and we're gonna go check it out now. So let's go down to the lower part of Salvador now. Very interesting, very good experience today. See the light, see the pole? Yes. Don't crash into that pole, or else it'll fall. Yeah, it's a first time pilot, first time pilot. There's a drone there.
There's a drone there.
Yeah, it's up there. It's up there. Where's the button? Alright, so unfortunately the elevator doesn't have any windows and there isn't much of a view, but it still is pretty amazing to ride down, because you can see we just came from the old part of the city, which is way up there, and now we're down on the new part of the city, way down here. What's amazing is the elevator was built in, I believe, the 1860s, making it one of the oldest elevators in the world. And also it functions as public transportation, because if you want to get up to the top of the cliff, you've got to take the elevator. So it actually costs 3 cents American, and it's full of locals who might be going to work or coming from work or just getting around Bahia. So unfortunately not so visual out the windows, but as it seems like everything in Salvador, very historic and very interesting. Muito bom. Okay, with that being said, let's go check out the Mercado Central, which is the central market. Muito bom. Check it out. Cafe Modelo. It's like a little coffee truck that looks like a little truck. Muito bom. Muito bom. Just outside of Mercado Modelo. Okay, let's check it out. Looks like a very traditional market. A little bit of a restaurant out front, and I'm sure lots of good stuff for sale inside. Let's go.
Oh my god, you have to try it. It numbs your mouth.
Right, so unfortunately the Mercado Modelo was like half under construction and about 50% of the stores were closed, but we've hopped in Vanessa's car. So first things first, big shout out to Vanessa once more for helping us out today, and she's driven us to a place called Bahia, which is a highly recommended neighborhood here in Salvador. So here you have a pretty nice beach, to be honest, which leads right out to the open sea, and everyone is out and about. The vibe here is absolutely amazing, and I think all the fruit sellers are setting up back here to get ready for sunset. I really thought Pelourinho was going to be the star of the vlog, because my experience in Pelourinho was amazing, but it looks like Bahia is trying to be the new favorite neighborhood here in Salvador, because there seems to be lots to do and lots of people around, and evidently sunset over here in Bahia will be incredible. So, muito bom, lots to love in Salvador.
And everyone is waiting for the sunset. Oh yeah. Bye-bye, sun.
We're going to clap from sunset.
We clap from sunset,
It was a good show.
baby.
It was a good show.
Yeah, pretty nice.
Well done. All right, there you have it, everybody. The sun has set and the show is over. Yvonne and I had an absolutely 5-star, let's be clear, 6-star
Love it.
day today. Huge thanks to Vanessa. What would we have done today without Vanessa? I'm not sure, but I'm sure it would not be as good as it was. So huge obrigado to Vanessa. From Pelourinho to the elevator to Bahia. Tons of good memories. And lots more good stuff coming from Salvador. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you in the next one. And wouldn't you know it, we're walking into more music and dancing. I think Salvador is a very inspiring place. Sort of breeds optimism, because some of the history we learned in Pelourinho is so sad and so dark and so depressing, but the place is so happy and vibrant and colorful that it feels like human beings can overcome anything. And so we will end off with some good moves here from Salvador. There you have it, guys. Smiles all around. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. Later.